I'll just wait for like a minute or two for people to join. But while they are joining, I just want to introduce myself to people who have joined us for the first time. I'm Sanjana. I'm the marketing manager at Clevertize. Clevertize is, as the name speaks for itself, it's clever advertising. It's an amalgamation of the two words. And as it speaks for itself, the way that we look at things is from an integrated marketing approach. And we have been fortunate and are very proud to be working with some of the biggest and actually global brands. And some of the names that you might be aware of are, let's say, eBay India, Metro Cash and Carry, Tata Motors, Barbecue Nation, David Lloyd Clubs, the list goes on. And I think a true testament to the reason we have been able to work with such brands is true to the kind of team and the talent that we have in-house, who come with about like 10 years of experience, and varies from person to person, but about 70% of the team comes from working in agency backgrounds. Some of the top agencies, in fact, may it be an Ogilvy, a JWT, or a Group M, in fact. And the other 30% kind of comes from your top institutes, fresh blood and fresh talent. And we were kind of thinking about how it's such a good experience for us to be able to share our insights and experience of our findings and studies of the market. And I'm sure that happens the same on the brand side as well and at different agencies. But there's no specific platform where both the brand side and the agencies are able to come together and have a frank and like open discussion about what's happening in the industry. And that's the reason we have Rhea here. So would love to introduce you. Hi, Rhea. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, Sanjana. Thanks so much for having me here. So a little bit more about me. I am currently a digital marketing manager at purple.com, which is a beauty e-commerce brand. I have, 3 years of experience managing paid media and organic media. I come from an agency, Merkel Socrates, which is one of the finest ones in India. And I got to learn a lot from some of the most talented and intelligent people over there. So I'm very excited for you guys to join this session, and we're going to have a fun chat, a lot of insights, and this is going to be a two-way communication. I want you guys to engage as well. And so, Sanjana,
Great. That sounds so good.
Ready to start?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have about 25 people live with us now, so it's a good time to start. And exactly like Rhea was saying, this is why we have, this is why CleverTalks was born, to be able to facilitate these kind of conversations. And we're so excited to kind of learn from everything that you have to share with us today, Rhea. So yeah, absolutely. Let's get started. Over to you.
Okay, awesome. So guys, let's start with, YouTube organic and how do you grow a YouTube channel? There's lots of questions. I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Let's just get started. So the thing on our agenda is, first we'll understand why. Why do I have to go after YouTube? Why does this channel matter? Then what does the YouTube algorithm look for? What are the things that the algorithm reward? And then once we understand the algorithm, we can understand what sort of strategies will help us to get there, because now we know the algorithm and how it works. After that, I'll also give you some tips around some strategies that work really well and are sort of new to the market, and also some tools and how do you go about planning all of this. And the last topic will be about virality and how to become viral, because I feel like that's a topic that everybody wants to know and people are constantly asking on Quora. So I just made sure that I'll include that as well. So some ground rules over here. I know you guys might have a lot of questions, but it would be great if you guys can put them down in the chat so that if it's relevant to the topic, I can cover it while I'm speaking. And if it's a detailed question, then we can definitely take it up at the end. But saying that, I don't want you guys to shy away from asking any question. Remember, no question is a stupid question. You rather ask it and get it clarified than, think something else in your head. So with that, let's get started to the actual deck. So like the first question, why do I bother? Why am I here? I'm sure you already know a few reasons, but still, just to reiterate, the number one reason that YouTube matters a lot is that 79% of your internet users have a YouTube account. That is a very high percentage. It's higher than Instagram and other social media channels. The number one would be Facebook, but that is also declining in this age. After that, for India specific stats, right? So we can see that there are 225 million monthly active users. That just shows you the potential it has in India. And it hasn't really grown as much as it has abroad in US and stuff. So this shows you the potential of the audience and the reach that you can get on YouTube. So that is all good, but what really have I done to know what is YouTube SEO, right? So I have worked when I was in Merkel Socrates, the agency. I was in the YouTube SEO department, and this is one of my biggest success stories, which is also a case study available online. You can search for it later. Just these were sort of the results that we got in 3 months. Yes, we got this in 3 months. We scaled from 28,000 subscribers to 100K subscribers in 3 months. And when you look at the 1 year mark, we actually reached 800K subscribers. And comparing that to 28K, I think it was a very, very big jump. The client was also very, very happy by this. So, while achieving this sort of success on YouTube, this is where I learned most of my strategies from this and some of the other clients as well. So, I'm going to get all of that to you guys in the most simplest way possible. So, how does YouTube play into all of the other things that you might have going on, right? If you are a brand, you obviously have a website, you have some ad campaigns running, you have an Instagram account. If you are an influencer or a personal brand, right, you might have LinkedIn, have a personal website, have a personal Instagram, things like that, right? So you're producing content from various places, and you might also sell something at the end, maybe a course or maybe a product or a service. So how does all of that play in, and how does YouTube help you reach those goals better? So what YouTube does, it will come and help you in the awareness stage of your funnel, which means more people are out there who are going to know about your brand, who are already searching on YouTube. The sort of consumer behavior on YouTube that you see is that people are there to actually know about more things. They are there with all of their attention, and they don't mind spending a little bit time on YouTube. So that is the best place to get the attention of your audience, whether you're a brand or an influencer. Moving on. So as I said, right, top of the funnel for brand awareness is how you can use YouTube very well. Also, apart from, having your brand in the mind of your consumers, you can also build a reputation and a presence after you constantly upload on YouTube. For example, if I know someone on YouTube who's constantly putting out videos about workout and how to, lose weight and stuff. And when I'm actually in the dilemma of thinking, what should I do to lose weight? I'm instantly going to think of them. That should be sort of your aim with YouTube. Try to put out as many videos as possible about your topic, about your niche, and so that people start recognizing you and consider you synonymous to the topic. We'll touch more upon how all of this happens, but this is sort of our objective with YouTube. So how do we do it, right? How do we do all of this? To understand that, we need to first start with what is the YouTube algorithm? What does the algorithm value, right? Your video engagement matters a lot. It is probably the number one thing on YouTube that matters the most. And why is this, right? There is a logical business reason to it as well. For the past couple of years, YouTube has been competing with Netflix. What that means is that YouTube has to compete with a channel which has a binge worthiness to it. So how do you create a binge worthiness? You make sure that the people on the website, on YouTube, are watching videos that they like, and YouTube as a company is providing them videos that they actually enjoy. Now, enjoying can be sort of a subjective term. So how the algorithm defines enjoying is that you're watching a video till the end, till the 100% completion mark. So when you're uploading videos, always keep checking what is the percentage completion, 50%. If it's 50%, try to bring it to 60%, 70%, things like that. That's why the matrix over here you would look for is the average percentage viewed and the average minutes viewed. Second that matters is your channel growth, because it can be a comparative way if there are other people also in the industry. So here there would be your classic matrix, such as how many subscribers do you have, views, although it is a metric that is publicly available and people do compare using views, but views is a vain metric. It does not tell you how, if people are enjoying your video, or anything more about it. Views is basically just a metric that shows you that somebody's clicked your video and viewed it till the 5 second or 10 second mark. So it doesn't really tell you anything more. So I would say do not look at views or even care about it. Go for your subscribers and go for your watch time. How many minutes are being watched on your channel as a whole? And this number is what you pursue to increase week on week, month on month as you go by. So let's go to what are the three pillars of success, right? These are the three main things that you kind of play around with and you can get success on YouTube. So the number one thing is your audience. What is your audience? Who are you targeting? Who are you going after? Do you wanna go after people who are younger or maybe older audience, demographic, country wise? Lots of cuts over there. Content, what sort of videos are you putting out? At the end of it, it's a video platform, so your video content has to match up to the standards of the platform and of your audiences. And third is SEO basically means search engine optimization, which goes for, if I have a search engine, which is the YouTube search engine, how do I optimize my video to show up at the top few spots, because you get a lot more people over there. So let's first start with audience. The number one thing, like I was saying, right, how much video is watched matters. That is what I mean by audience retention. Are people watching 100% of your video? Even after watching your video, are they going to one of your other videos? Or are they going, to your channel homepage? Are they still engaging with you in some way, even if it means that they're going to your social media channel? So that's why audience retention is a way that you can make sure, like, which tells you more about how much attention are you able to capture of your audience. Second would be the engagement. How are you engaging with your audience, right? If you have been active on YouTube, you know that YouTubers will do this thing where they comment in the first few hours and they will reply to every comment. Then that is to encourage that more people would comment on the video. So there's a lot of tricks to it, and you can obviously invent new things that can help you with better engagement. I will be sharing a couple of tips from my side, but my point here is that you need to make sure that you're engaging with your audience in some form of the other, so that they feel that they are part of something bigger, like a community, and they have a personalized touch with you. And then the third part is your distribution and promotion, right? How are you promoting your video? It's not that you just upload a video and then you let it go. Whatever I wants to do, will do. It's not like that. You can work on increasing the views of your videos. So what is the way of going about it? You can post it on social media. You can post it on other places on YouTube. Like, for example, there's community tab, there's YouTube stories. You can put it on the first comment, other videos, that this is, my most watched video in a week, or, a lot of people are commenting here. Maybe you want to check it out, something of that sort. There's a lot of ways to do it, but you should always keep in mind that there should be a plan to reach out to your audiences in a way that you're engaging with them, in a way that you are distributing and promoting your content.
Rhea,
So
just to highlight, I think a couple of questions are coming in through the chat box. I don't know if you're able to see it on your screen or not.
Yeah, I'm not able to see it.
Do you want me to read it out? It says,
yeah, that would be
what if somebody skips to the end while we are talking about, the watch time and the views? What if somebody skips to the end? Then how does the algorithm work?
Right. This is a great question, because I actually have the graph in front of me. Whenever someone skips, that is also recorded. Like, algorithm is smarter than that. So, the third square that you see, or where there's a sudden peak, that is because somebody started the video from that point. If maybe while sharing, you would have shared it at that point, and that's why everybody's starting there. So that is something that the algorithm will know, and your percentage viewed will not increase because of that, because ultimately it'll be the number of minutes watched divided by your number of minutes of the video. So that will be accounted for. It wouldn't work like that.
So you're saying that the video starts from the point where it was shared from. Does this include the other platforms as well? Let's say I'm sharing it on WhatsApp and somebody clicks on it. They start from the point from where I had shared it. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can make it start. It's a small setting, while you're sharing, it shows you, do you want to start the video from this particular point, or do you want to start it from the start?
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
I think that's about it for now.
Okay, no worries. So basically, this is a typical graph that you would see, and you should always go and check your video graphs. The number one, I have highlighted three boxes over here because there's a significance to these three boxes. The first box shows you out of all the people that started your video, most of like 25% of them dropped off in 5 second duration. So you need to make sure in the 5% duration you have a branding that says that this is your name or this is a playlist or something, so that people know what they're clicking. If the drop off is higher, so 20 to 25% is still okay, but if the drop off is higher than 25%, then you should go and check your video whether the thumbnail is misleading to what the actual video is about. If I assume that the video was about something else and it's actually about something else, that can cause a little bit of sort of discrepancy. And so when I start off the video, I'll just close it off in 5-10 seconds because I realize it's not what I expected. So if it's higher than 20-25% as a rule of thumb, go check out whether your thumbnails are actually justifying the content of the video. Now, the second square that you see, although it might seem insignificant to you, but there's a little bit of rise over there. And how can that happen, right? That is a point where people have gone back in your video and played the same part again. That shows that they were really enjoying that part of the video. And once you start aggregating all of the high points of your video, if you have 10-15 videos, you start writing down all of the high points of your video where people rewatch them. And once you have a directory of all of these topics, you basically know what your audience is liking and what they're not liking. So that can help you in your content creation process. Now, the third square, it basically shows that there was a sort of an anomaly. How can so much traffic, almost 50% of the traffic, come from this point, right? There could be multiple reasons for it. Like the first one I said, if people have started sharing it from a certain point. The second could also be that people at the start, sometimes influencers do this when they have a couple of, if I'm talking about lipsticks and makeup and skincare, then I might say that at the 5-point mark, there would be makeup related. At the 7-point mark, there would be skincare related. So if they've done that call out and everybody has actually clicked skincare, for example, then I can clearly tell that skincare as a topic is working better for me instead of makeup. So that can also help you very well in understanding what the audience is liking. And you can, plan your future content according to this. So here the average percentage viewed is 37%, which is not bad at all. And the view duration is 5 minutes and 33 seconds. So your aim should be to increase that on a week basis. Moving on to the next slide. So now this is the second pillar that can help you in success, which is your content. Obviously, right? Nothing can happen without content on a video platform. So here when I say content, I am talking about content that is relevant to only YouTube, and I'm not talking about the video production content as in when you're putting it on YouTube after the video is ready. So your thumbnails are very important so that you can sort of talk about, what have a bigger text in your image so that it's even friendly when you're on a phone and you're looking on YouTube, which is also where almost 60 to 70% of the traffic comes from. It comes from your phone and not from web. So you need to make sure that it's readable through mobile devices. Over here you can also use things like emojis, to make them seem more attractive and appealing. Yes, and the second one is your playlist and homepage design. Now your homepage design, we are going to look at examples, so do not worry if this doesn't make sense to you right now. So the homepage is basically where, if an audience or a consumer likes your video, they will go to your homepage and check it out. So that is the time where you tell them what are you about, right? And what is this channel about and what can they expect from this channel. So number one thing is your channel trailer, where you talk about what sort of content you release, how often do you release, and things like that. Also your channel banner. Even when you go below, further down the page, there is also, you can link playlist over there, so that there could be, you can drive people to certain topics and playlists that people are liking, your existing audience is already liking, so you can link that from your homepage. Then the third is other forms of content, right? So content does not just stop at the video that you upload on YouTube. Now we have a lot of other ways of producing content on YouTube, such as YouTube stories. It is still a very, it's not a crowded market like Instagram, or even Facebook is not crowded as of now, but YouTube is also one of that it's not crowded. So the sooner you get to the market, the first you are to the market, the more you will reap benefits of it. So make sure you, whenever you have a video going on, either you can have behind the scenes, or you can talk about on the YouTube story, what can they see in this video, or some other form of engagement basically. And the best thing about YouTube stories is, unlike other social media channels, the story actually stays for 7 days. So it stays for a whole week, and you have the subscribe button right when you swipe up to reply to a story. So it's the best way of getting subscribers. There's a subscriber button there. Like, what more would you want? And the community tab is it's sort of like a Facebook kind of interface where you can ask questions to your audience, maybe what is the next topic that they want to see, run a poll, or link other videos or playlists, even share a picture that you might already be posting on Instagram, and you can share it over here. So those are some of the content related strategies. Now, talking about video itself, right? So because the video is obviously of the most importance, no matter what all strategies and optimizations you do, if your video is not good, everything goes, everything fails, everything falls apart. So these are some of the video content, I would say, categories, broad level categories that can help you in having, jotting down your topics. Some of this content is like relatable, emotional, inspiring, education, surprising. Although it might seem obvious, but it is very important that you inculcate one of these emotions, not just from a video content point of view, but even from a human attention point of view, right? The way our brains have evolved, these are the sort of emotions, or attributes that really make us pay attention to something. So when we're paying attention to something, we're taking away attention from something else, and that's why it needs to be something that is worth our attention, or actually makes us want to pay attention. So these are some ways, if you go out and like read books and stuff about what sort of content people respond to very quickly, it's always one of these. So make sure you try inculcating one of the attributes, and you communicate it throughout the video, right? Not just in your video, but also in your title, in your comments, as much as possible. Okay, so now I want to play a little game. So I would like someone to actually speak right now. So if somebody wants to volunteer themselves, that would be very nice. So I'm not able to see the chat actually. So Sanjana, could you help me out here?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we have one more question here. What's the optimum duration a video should be?
So there is no optimal duration. I'm sorry, even if somebody claims that there is no optimal duration, you need to know if the topic is worth having, a long video or multiple short videos. You need to see what is your audience and how much time do they have. Like, for example, if I'm trying to target a teenager, I would assume that they can watch longer videos because they have that much free time. But if you're trying to target a professional or somebody older who lead busy lives, right, then it would be a better idea to have 3 4 5 minute videos. So it all depends on your audience, your objective of the video, what is the video about. But in general, instead of, if you can cut down a 20-minute video to 4 5 minute videos, then that would be better, because then you can promote them at different times, and you can have a playlist, and people can constantly watch those videos in sort of a loop. So yeah, there is no right answer here, but these are some factors that can help you evaluate that.
Cool, makes sense. So anyone want to volunteer, or shall I take this up? I'm game for it.
Come on, I know most of the people out here, so it would be good if somebody can volunteer.
I'll volunteer. Okay.
Okay. Hi. So can you tell us your name?
Hi, I'm Samya.
Hi, Soumya. All right. So I hope you've been paying attention, and now we'll come to know on how you respond to this exercise.
Uh-huh.
So can you spot the difference? So I have kept two screenshots of two different, YouTubers. And I want you to spot the difference in terms of their design or anything that you can see, apart from like the creative nature and stuff.
All right. The first is on the banner for Cosmopolitan. I can see the social icons.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Then moving on, I see that the playlist that's there, TikTok challenge.
Right.
They have a playlist and they've given a little understanding about the playlist, a little description that they've mentioned there.
Yes, yes. Very, very well done. And like I know that you've been paying attention now.
Yeah.
So here are the answers basically. You got them all right. Other media links, an awesome way to drive traffic from YouTube to some of your other channels. Also the TikTok, the playlist, having a playlist and also giving a description to your playlist. So the YouTuber that you see on the right, that is someone who just started, YouTube 2 months ago. So they haven't curated their homepage. So even if she has about 125,000 subscribers, when you come to her homepage, you're kind of clueless or where should I click next. So yes, very well done, Soumya. Thanks for coming online.
No problem.
All right. So I have another exercise. If someone else wants to volunteer here.
I'll go because I think I figured a couple out.
All right.
So
Awesome.
I think obviously the way that the thumbnails themselves have been illustrated, the one on the top is all plain. The thumbnails are all, I think, just like pictures from the video itself that it automatically kind of picks up. And the ones at the bottom are the ones with the better thumbnails, and also the way that the titles have been placed. So I think the ones that have been like 8, 9 years old, this YouTuber might not have known how to optimize the titles as per SEO standards, I'm guessing. And also, what I was thinking is also the way that she has kind of placed the thumbnails, the way that it kind of all flows has a little bit of similarity with it.
Yeah, true. Anything that you notice different about the way the titles have been arranged?
I mean, is it that it's all caps? Is it because like it's more eye-catching?
Caps is one of the things, but also from the way I see it is that she is getting a lot more keywords. She's having a lot more keywords in her title, whether it's oily skin, dry skin, acne pro skin, Mintra, Agio. So she's putting multiple keywords over there so that she can rank for those keywords. So in the first slide, I mean the first row of thumbnails, you see that it's only red lips 101, nothing more than that.
Yeah.
So that's another difference.
I think I know this influencer as well. I've forgotten her name. Can't see it here, but she's
It's
quite old.
Jovita George.
Yeah. I think she was one of the first like Indian YouTubers to kind of start talking about makeup or something. This is like way back in the day, but I remember this face.
Yeah, 9 years
Nice.
ago, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I've just pointed out some of the ways, right? Like the fact that she included Alia in the thumbnail was a genius move. Honestly, genius move. Even I couldn't have come up with that. So having such popular faces, it just draws a lot more people to your video, obviously, because more than Jovita, the influencer, people would know Alia Bhatt. Also, when she's trying out these products and stuff, she also has the product snippets that would be very recognizable if you're just scrolling through YouTube on your phone, right? So that was also a very good move. And I also love the way that, captions are there to every thumbnail, which says a little bit more than your title does. So you don't have to make the thumbnail the same thing that your title does. Thumbnail is a place for you to give a slightly more information. You can throw in a little bit more information. So I love the way she's using, popular, pop keywords such as cringy and roast me and stuff. So it would be very appealing to people of, our generation. So here are some things. Now, looking at the SEO point of view, right? Like this is where you can apply proper strategies and get some results out of them. So like I said before about titles, right? Your titles, description, and your tags are basically the three things that can help you in your keyword ranking. Okay, keyword ranking over here is not the same. Do not equate it to Google SEO. Okay, Over here, keyword ranking, the algorithm is not the same, the Google and the YouTube algorithm. That's why it would be unfair to compare them. Over here, what we do is when I have, even when I'm deciding my ideas for my content, right, I can start with my keyword research. What are the keywords? What are the things that people are searching for? Are people searching? I'm just going to continue the beauty example from before. And if people are searching for monsoon makeup or quarantine makeup, there are new makeup trends now happening about Zoom makeup and stuff. So if people are searching for that, then it would be a good topic for me to pick up and have a video on. And because I know people are searching for that keyword or that particular term, I can also include them in my title, in my description, in my tags. Tags is basically some keywords that you can tell the algorithm which is not visible to the public, right? And you're telling the algorithm that I would put tags like maybe makeup, beauty, Indian, and they're basically broader categories that can help you get reach. But make sure that your tags are sort of niche also. You have Zoom beauty or quarantine beauty, whatever your topic is, have niche tags also and have a variety of tags, so that at least some of them can help you to get ranked. But while I say that, that is not the only thing that helps you rank. It is also a factor of how engaging is your video. Everything on YouTube is going to go back to, is your audience enjoying the video? Are they watching it till 100%? Right? So if your video is not the 100% one, or people are barely watching 5-10% of it, no matter what sort of titles, descriptions and tags you put, you will not rank in SEO. So keep that in mind. The prerequisite is to have your video engaging, and then SEO can help you to get the reach further and to grow your channel further. Now, my second point is about info cards and end screen. What happens with info cards and end screens is that while you're watching a video, these are the two things that can help you to go from one video to another, right? So if you guys remember the audience retention graph we saw in one of the previous slides, right, where I know that there is a drop off happening, I can also put a card at that point and ask them a question, that did they come here to get this insight, or A insight, or B insight, or I could also link them to another video, because I already know a lot of people are not watching this video, so they have an option from the cards to go somewhere else. Cards is also a good way to engage, or keep the engagement going on the video without actually editing something on it. So for example, cards, you can also ask polls on the cards, and I have seen that asking funny questions and witty questions on the polls is something that gives you incredible engagement. Like if I link a video or a playlist, the usual click through rate is about 2%, 2 to 5%. And when it comes to having a poll and having a funny question over there, that can rise to 25%. I'm not joking. I've seen it in my accounts happen all the time. So I would encourage you to, put a lot of questions that are actually engaging with your audience and knowing a little bit more about them than actually selling them another video and so on. And then the third thing that I'm sure you guys are everywhere is your consistency is the most important thing on YouTube. Definitely people have to watch the entirety of my video, but YouTube algorithm will only reward people who are constantly putting out videos, right? Because they're competing with Netflix, if you remember. So that's why you have to upload. If you are thinking of a 3 video per week schedule or a 2 video per week schedule, make sure you follow that. Apart from the algorithm as well, you can prime your audience, and create a habit in them that every Friday is when you can expect a new video about this topic, and every Tuesday is when you can expect a new video. And once you keep doing that week on week, month on month, is when audience like actually registers in their brain, and it happens without you even telling them that there is a video coming up. And that's when slowly, steadily, you will make a loop for yourself where your audience is always coming and watching your video without you actually promoting it way too much. So that's why it's important to have a content schedule fixed. And there are some tricks to keep up with your content schedule as well. But also it would be good, just as an additional tip, to have the message in your banner that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday you're putting out new videos.
There's
So
a new question here, Rhea.
sure.
What is the decent timeline for putting out videos that aren't DIY, like music videos, etc.?
Okay, so there I can tell you what is not a correct timeline, because the correct timeline depends on how your channel is going, and it's a lot about experiment. It obviously would be an issue, if you are putting out 5 or 10 videos in a day, because none of your videos will get enough time to reach your consumers and so on and so forth. So make sure that you have ample time between them. So I think if you're just starting out a channel, from posting 0 videos to posting 3 videos, I think you should space them out with like a 2-day interval. Once your audience is comfortable with that and you see that the views on all of them, they're getting their own time to reach the audience and get views, then you can add another video. Make it from 3 videos a week to 4 videos a week to 5 videos a week to 6 videos a week. So it has to be a gradual process. You can't go from 3 videos a week to 6 videos a week the next week, because the algorithm will get confused on what is your actual like activity on the channel, and it won't promote it anymore. That's why make sure you have intervals given and slowly increase it if you're seeing that your each video is getting enough attention from their audience. Once you start seeing that maybe 5 videos a week I was getting attention, then when it came to 6 videos, some of my videos are not getting enough attention. That's when you take a step back and you go back to 5 videos, or maybe you see that you should have a smaller video. The 6th video could be a smaller video. So that's how you figure out how many videos would be optimal for your channel.
I have a follow-up question along the same lines.
Sure.
While we know that, consistency is key for growing on YouTube, and like, exactly what you were saying that kind of add on more videos as your viewers go up. But a lot of us here today are also people who have to manage YouTubes for brands. So how does it work for brands who don't have, enough videos or don't have a plan to post as many videos? How do you grow for such accounts? And how long has it, in your experience, taken you?
Right. So the number one thing with growing a YouTube channel has to be videos. If it's considered like Instagram, if you're not posting or if you're not making a story, how are you going to get more followers? You're not going to get incremental reach. You can, send the YouTube link to your customers and so on if you are a brand. But still, there is no reason for them to actually subscribe to your channel, because there is no content to look forward to. So even as a brand, right, so as a brand you might not have the bandwidth to make 6 videos a week, but you can obviously have decide on a feasible structure, something like maybe 2 videos a week or a 1 video a week. And even over there you can think of ways in repurposing a video. So for example, if you've had a live on Instagram which was about 15-20 minutes long, then you can take that video, edit some bits out, make it a 5-10 minutes video, and then put it up on YouTube. So you can play. I think for brands, right, they do have content. They might not have content that's specific to YouTube, but I'm sure they do have content from their website, from other social media channels. Take that, curate that in a way that it's for YouTube. It's more personal, it's more chatty, and yeah, and always have some videos in your repository, right? So if you suppose are planning to do 2 videos a week, have 5 to 10 videos already in your folder, so that you can use them later on when you're not able to match up your requirement.
Yeah, that makes sense. We're going to be putting up this session on YouTube as well. So any of you who want to kind of go listen to what Rhea is saying again to refresh your memory, it's going to be on YouTube. So yeah, I get where you're coming from. That's exactly it, to repurpose those videos.
Awesome. What a good time to plug that in, Sanjana. All right. So I'll move forward. This is the last exercise, sort of. So who wants to volunteer themselves? Come on, I want someone new to do this. Anyone?
We have a very shy audience today. Can I nominate someone?
Yeah, go for it.
Sugandha, Paraj, one of you I think should go for it.
Okay, I'll go for it. I kind of knew you were going to do that.
Why
Hi,
not?
Sugandha.
Hi, Rhea.
Hi. So
Okay.
basically, we're just having a little exercise, where we're kind of evaluating the description, Lily Singh's video descriptions. Basically, I've taken two videos. One is her oldest video, and one is her most recent video. I'm sure you can point out which is which, but do let me know if see one is better than the other, and why do you think so?
Yeah, I think I prefer the one on the right left because I generally have a nature of scrolling through the description box, whichever is there.
Mhm.
And I do happen to see, okay, what other thing can I see? And when it comes to Lily Singh, I think the kind of followers she has are the people who know her. And I think the way she's listed down, part one, part two, part three, it kind of like, I think it's going to engage the person more into watching more of her videos. So I like the left one better.
Yeah, perfect. I also like the way that you started with, this is the behavior that you have on YouTube. And I think on any platform, before you become a marketer, you become a consumer first, and you sort of look into, what do I like to do here? What do I not like on this platform? So that's amazing that you're deriving insights from that. And yeah, you're absolutely right. The kind of content she puts out, it's comedy light content, so you want to binge watch it, and she's making it easy for you to binge watch. So if you look at basically the answers, yeah, so not only does she has the the other parts of the videos, but she's also linking her playlist. So maybe if you don't like this type of video, you can go for one of her other playlists. And if Lily Singh, these are her popular top playlists, right? So I'm sure you would want one of them. The key over here is, instead of linking a video, she's linked a playlist, because a playlist will open up 10, 15, 100 other videos instead of just opening up one video. So wherever you can link a playlist instead of video, always do that. And also the part where she's linked her social media channels. If you look at the old picture on the right, it's very spaced out and stuff, but over here it's to help so that more information is given in a short in a short space, in a small space. And also her business link about her book. So that's a good way that you can, as a brand, also plug in your website in the description. And if you are selling anything as an influencer, as a personal brand, you can, this is the spot where you do it. Okay, so this is another exercise. Sorry, I said that was the last one, but I swear this is the last one. So who do we have for this exercise?
I think Parad should do this.
There's somebody who's volunteering.
Oh,
Shubhra.
yeah, there is. Shubhra, go for it. All yours.
Hi guys. So I the first one that is towards the left, that seems good to me because it is giving me an option right there, to maybe just go and watch the next video in line that she wants me to watch. So it's a
Mhm.
great way to put upfront content to the consumer so that they stay on your page or stay on your channel for a longer duration of time, and they right away get something to watch that is maybe relevant. So yeah, the left one.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. So you're absolutely right. It's the fact that she has videos linked over here. Again, my tip, which I will keep saying, is that if you have playlists, you rather link playlists instead of videos. But over here, she's linked video, which is also fine. Also, she has put a subscribe button, the face that you see on the side, that is actually a subscription button. So if you hover over it, you will see a subscribe option to subscribe to the channel. So that's also really great. And honestly, if somebody is enjoying your video and they have reached to the end of your video, then that is the perfect place to pitch them to watch one of your other videos, right? Also, one of the strategies that works over here is that when you have a new video coming up, right, and you really want to promote it, or maybe it's a brand video about a sale, or something about a sale comparison, or something a bit more awareness kind of video, then you can change all of your top performing videos and make sure that you include that video in all of the end screens. So what will happen is, because those are your top performing videos, people are going to reach the end, a majority of people are going to reach the end, and they will be in the mood to watch one of your other videos because they like that video. And that's how you can direct all of your traffic from your channel to this one particular video and make it a hit. Okay, so that's just one of the other ways you can do it. So let's go beyond optimization, right? Like now I showed you the many ways you can optimize your videos, your channel, and make the most of it. Now we're going to see more in terms of the planning and the tools that you can use and the process to make all of this happen. So there's a lot of analysis that you can do, and being a marketer, I would say do not go for your intuition or any logic that you are just thinking about. Always make sure if you have a hypothesis, you clear it out with data and you actually see the data. And this data is not very complicated, it's just percentages, right? So all of these data points are available for free on YouTube Analytics. So when you start off your channel, that dashboard will be available to you. So here you can see, how is your audience working out, like what demographic are you targeting, what sort of people are you reaching out to, whether it's nation wise or demographic in terms of ages or gender, right? Also, like the way I said about info card and end screen, right? So you can analyze the numbers over there as well. Maybe on all of the videos I showed video A and video B, and I have seen time and time again that video B has more people clicking on it than video A, right? So then I would want to promote video B more and replace the video A with maybe video C and try how that works. So slowly, once you do these sort of analysis, you also get an understanding of what your audience is looking for. And then the next thing is your audience retention, like the video graph that we analyzed before. Once you do the analysis, you also get video production level insights on what works and what doesn't work. But you also get, once you can also put info cards and other sort of ways to engage on points where it's not so good. So that is another way. And then there is video traffic. Analyze where your video traffic is coming from. This is probably one of the most important analysis you can do, and see whether it's coming from your WhatsApp, whether it's coming from Instagram, whether it's coming from YouTube homepage, or whether it's coming from YouTube recommended videos, right? And why I'll tell you this is important is because once YouTube starts showing videos on homepage and recommended videos, that's when the video will actually hit a viral sort of status, right? When YouTube algorithm thinks that a video is worthy enough to be put on a homepage, is because when people are engaging 100% with it, they're also commenting and sharing that video everywhere, and all of these boxes are being ticked. That's when they will start promoting the video like wildfire, and it will come on your homepage, it will come on your recommended videos. So that is an incredible way of increasing your reach and going out to unique people, and just in general increasing the channel subscription in the funnel. Then the last thing I want to talk about is A/B tests. The A/B tests are possible to some extent. So there are tools that can help you. For this, you would require a tool, and you can, with the help of this tool, you can, test out whether a thumbnail works better than another thumbnail, whether a certain language, maybe, English language works better than Hindi or English, something of that sort. So there's A/B tests you can do where you can take these data points and improve your videos and your strategy according to it. So here are some of the tools that I, kind of talked about using them. So the number one is, the learning platform. If you want to learn anything that I talked about or anything that you're curious about, this website has a lot of courses for you and short courses. So it's an amazing place to get any sort of information that's related to the settings or the tools and stuff. Then YouTube Analytics, obviously YouTube Analytics, the number one, is completely free for you. But also TubeBuddy is very good. I have worked on TubeBuddy quite a lot. I've also worked on vidIQ, but I found TubeBuddy a better tool. TubeBuddy will help you, do your keyword research, change, even the A/B tests are possible to TubeBuddy. You can also track your competitors matrix and how your competitor has been scaling up month on month, and kind of do a comparison on how the rate of growth that you have and the rate of growth that your competitor has. Lots of features over there that also help you with bulk editing. So it's very helpful for people on the brand side that might not have that sort of capability to go and edit every video. Bulk editing options are loads on TubeBuddy, so definitely recommend that tool. Apart from that, for topic research, Google Trends, YouTube Trends, Twitter, trending hashtags, anywhere that you can find that people are constantly talking about. And these are all free tools. There's a lot more also if you just do a little Google search. Third party analytics, this is very relevant for brand side people. I have had clients on YouTube which are not who are not doing YouTube for awareness, but they actually want leads from YouTube, right? So when you want leads from YouTube, what you can do is you can always have a tag in your in the link that you have in the description, right? You have a UTM over there that will make sure that the analytics is actually tracking the behavior on that link. And over time, once you start getting traffic from that, you can also calculate the quality of the traffic of YouTube compared to other social media channels, compared to paid channels, right? And in my analysis, I've seen that YouTube traffic is superior to your paid channels. And in social media channels, it depends on what sort of channels you have and the engagement you have, but it is almost at par with organic. And which is, if you are a marketer, that is a big thing. So yes, it would be good. And there's a lot of applications on Google Analytics as well, once to connect YouTube and Google Analytics. So I know we've gone a little overboard, but I trust me, this is a small topic and also an awaited topic that everybody wants to know. How can I go viral, right? How will that happen? And yes, I'm not talking about a way where you pay for your views, which happened recently. It was in the news, but yes, this is an organic way of going viral. So firstly, what is virality, right? What is virality? In the most basic and simple terms, virality is basically reaching a lot of people in a short amount of time, right? Simply put, a lot of people, maybe thousands and crores of people in a span of a day or a two. That's when something has virality or becomes viral, right? So now that we know what viral means, we can think of the way that YouTube videos can go viral, right? So here there are two ways of doing it, and I am not saying that these are short ways. Obviously your video retention, as I have been saying again and again, is the most important thing. And if your video retention is not nice, none of this will work, right? So from that, keeping that in mind, I'm moving forward. The number one thing is from the YouTube algorithm, right? How do I make the algorithm understand that this is a very successful video and it has the worthiness of going viral, right? So are the people, the number first aim for you should be that people are watching the 100% mark. Once people are watching the 100% mark, encourage them to comment something. Maybe have your first comment saying what was the most exciting part or the most insightful part about this video, anything that is related to the video. And encourage people to comment, share, like your video, things like that. And once all of this is fine and people are actually watching till the end of your video, this is when the algorithm will start putting your video on your homepage and your suggested page, like I mentioned earlier, right? So once it goes on homepage, trust me, it will go to millions of views in no time, right? So make sure that your aim is that you get most of your traffic from YouTube homepage or recommended videos, and not from WhatsApp or other social media channels. Because if you think about it, WhatsApp and other social media channels, it's dependent on your effort of actually sharing it and then getting the result. But if you have created this loop very well, then YouTube by itself will be promoting your videos to make it viral. Right now, the second way, which I briefly touched upon, is the independently doing it. That is by encouraging people to actually share your videos, putting it on Instagram, putting it on Facebook, and you can put it on your website also. One trick that can help over here is that you can have a YouTube premiere, that is basically scheduling a video for the future. So for example, I schedule a video for Sunday morning 10 a.m, right? Then I tell everyone in my network, I promote that landing page everywhere, and people have clicked for remind me. So now when Sunday morning 10 a.m my video goes live, everybody will receive a notification and all of them will come online at the same time or in a couple of hours to watch the video. So in the first 24 hours, I will get a huge amount of traffic of people that know about this video from me itself. So with that, your engagement will also be better, and because it got so many people or so many views in such a short amount of time, algorithm will also think that this is a video that can go viral, right? So that is another way of doing it. Now we have talked about all of this, but I'm just putting it in one place together. So this will be your A to Z process, right? First thing, what is your goal? Why are you doing this? Do you want to increase the awareness of your brand? Do you want to become an influencer, create a personal brand? Like, why exactly are you doing this? Then figure out what are your niche or your interest with this, right? So if I am creating a personal brand, my expertise lie in video marketing, in organic, in Google ads, in media campaigns and so on. So then I will make sure that I put out content that is relevant to these topics only. And when I talk about niche means that when you search for a topic on YouTube, you do not find many people actually doing it, and that's why it becomes a sort of smaller category of topic. So you should start off with considering a niche and putting out, for example, I consider my niche as, let's say, video marketing. Then I put out as much content as possible about video marketing, and then once I've built up a decent amount of base, then I switch to other topics that are also relevant. For example, perhaps TikTok or YouTube, because they are also video platforms. So that's how I increase my content after I build a base on my niche, right? Then once I know what my niche is and what my aim of the YouTube channel is, I will jot down 30 topics. I have a brain dump of all of the topics that I can have on my channel, so that I have a slightly longer term vision also of where I see this channel going. Then I at the start I get my 7 to 10 pieces of content ready, like videos and stuff, so that when I do make a content calendar and maybe I have to upload a video, and because of personal reasons I'm not able to do it, I can use one of these pieces of content for that day. So it helps you a lot in to stay consistent in your game. Then you make a content calendar which is feasible to you and your requirements and bandwidth. You analyze performance with all of the matrix that we saw, percentage viewed, minutes watched, card, your info card clicks, end screen clicks, and lots more. And you see what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Whatever worked for you, improve your video with that. So it is a process of constantly experimenting and seeing what works for you. If there is something that you think is working for you and no one else is doing out there, that does not mean that it's wrong. That means you found something that actually works for your situation. So definitely go ahead and do something that experts might not say. Like, for example, I'm saying to post a content not every day, right? But if you think that works from the numbers that you're seeing, then that is the biggest testimony of all. So that would be the process end to end. These are some of my pro tips from the current industry standards of YouTube channels and strategies. These are some things which are relatively new, and that's why they work a lot. For example, creating weekly series, like I said before, right? Because we want to inculcate a habit in our audience that they know when our next video is coming up, and they actually look forward to it. So if it's every Friday, if it's every Monday, make sure you communicate that and actually have series that are dedicated to the Friday videos or the Monday videos. That will also help you in making more playlists. You can keep one video in multiple playlists as well if you think that fits. Other thing is having YouTube Premiere, for that is basically a scheduled video. So you will have a landing page where you can actually get traffic from other channels to this channel. The fourth thing would be to add video elements where your video gets boring, right? So once you've analyzed your audience retention graphs, you will know whenever maybe you talk about a certain topic, or that's when people start losing interest or start closing the video. So the next time you make such a video and you can't avoid giving that information, you can put some element on the screen that they can look at and divert their attention for that time. Or you can also add card clicks and stuff that can prompt you a question or prompt you to another video, so that the audience will have something to do if they're getting bored. The last thing is experimenting with different language. As a whole, not just YouTube, but as a whole, vernacular is coming up in a very, very big way. And that's why it's important that you try this out. You can either make different channels that support different languages, maybe one for English, one for Hindi, one for Marathi, or you could also have your own videos. For example, the headlines and descriptions and so on, you can translate them in Marathi for only people who have their browser settings as Marathi, right? So according to the browser settings, the titles and descriptions will be visible. So if your video is something like in Hindi, or Hindi, sort of casual Hindi, then you can promote that in Hindi and in English and in Marathi. At least for Indian audience, that will still be relevant. So over there, you can just use translation, which YouTube does by itself. You just have to check a box, and you can sort of get more avenues of consumers that you can reach out to and who can become your subscribers eventually. So yeah, that would be the end of my presentation. If there are any questions on the chat or anything that somebody would want to come online and ask me, then now would be a great time.
Thanks, Rhea. That GIF is so cute. Look at that kid. I think there is one question here from Gitanjali. She asks, when we talk about consistency, does the type of content or the type of editing also affect the audience attention? And what is the ideal number of videos that should go out per week? Both of these from Gitanjali.
Right. So, okay, when we're talking about video elements, right, there can be video elements. There are nowadays people do this thing where you can know when the video is ending. So, for example, if I'm halfway through a video, there will be a bar that like scrolls down, which shows you the duration of the video is ending. That can be helpful. Or you could also prompt topics over here, that you're talking about maybe 5-6 topics, and if somebody's not interested on one topic or the other topic, then they can move on to one of the later topics. You can also provide timestamps so that they go on the later topics. Many ways of doing this, but yeah, here are some common ways that are easy to execute. And also in terms of saying the weekly videos that you can put out, right, I think starting off with 2 to 3 videos is very decent. One video can get very less and you'll have very less data points to even analyze your performance. So I would say start off with 2-3 videos. But if you're starting off with 3 videos, make sure you have the capacity to follow 3 videos every week. That is very important.
Great. Guys, I just want everyone to kind of be aware that, we're almost 10 minutes overboard and I wouldn't want to take up too much of Ria's time. But I think we just have 2-3 more questions coming in and then we can probably wrap up the session. This question comes from Shubhra. She asks, in a channel that's meant, say, for teaching, is there any good duration that a video should be? Again, I think talking about the duration of the video itself here.
Right. So although I spoke about this earlier, I'll just add to it. It can't be too small. I would say that's for sure. It can't be too small unless it's an ad. Do not make it 1-2 minutes video. I think you should try to look up 4-5 minute plus videos. But after that, you will have to see your audience retention graph and see if your audience is sticking to 10 minutes video or a 15-minute video. That will depend on the kind of performance you get. But yes, not very small videos. It's not TikTok or Instagram. We want chatty big videos over here.
Makes sense. Yeah. Question from Paraj. So Paraj asks, given that Facebook and Instagram algorithms virtually kill cross-platform reach, what is an effective way to drive traffic from social media to YouTube?
So from social media, right, I think make it a process where it's not that you are saying, okay, go to my YouTube channel and like this, right? Don't do it in a way that you're actually selling it to them, but make it in a way that, your Instagram is for having informal chats, where you have informal chats. But every Friday, you have this episode where you touch on this topic, which is a more formal educational episode. So there you have to go on YouTube for that. So give different social media channels a different purpose. So if somebody actually likes your content and likes your personality, then they would want to know what all are you putting out, right? And then they would go to your YouTube channel or TikTok or whatever it is to see that sort of content. So yeah, just do it in a sort of organic way that the content fits more on YouTube, and which is why you're doing it. And once you start communicating it in that manner, that every Friday we have a new episode going up, and every Monday you do a Q&A of that video from your Instagram, then it will form a good loop where people from YouTube are following you on Instagram, and people from Instagram are following you on YouTube, and just increasing that in that sort of loop.
Yep, makes sense. Thank you. And I have one last question specifically regarding to what you have on the screen right now, and would love to take this opportunity to plug your podcast as well. Guys, definitely go check out Rhea's What's Next in Marketing podcast. I think the first day we connected, I told her that I kind of was listening to it so much that my entire night was passed through that. So a lot of insights that you can gain from her podcast. But my question being, while you've had the experience from YouTube and now you're kind of starting out on making more podcasts and exploring that world, what kind of engagement are you seeing on your podcast versus YouTube?
Right. Great question. So I'll just give a little brief about my podcast first. So my podcast is called What's Next in Marketing. As the name suggests, in this podcast, I try to explore what is upcoming, what is new, what is something that's out of box currently in the industry, and that brands and individuals can implement and improve their marketing game. I have industry leaders that I bring on here, people who are running businesses, people who are heading digital marketing segments, and so on. So coming back to your question about the sort of performance that I am seeing, right? So I actually started my podcast, like it's there on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all these other podcast sort of audio streaming sites, but it's also on YouTube. And I made that as a conscious call because I know that Indian audience is currently not that we don't podcast is not so popular yet in the Indian market. So that's why video becomes a way to sort of get it popularized, the audio form, while people like watching video. And over here I have seen that clearly on my YouTube channel. I see almost 10x the views or the plays that I see on my Spotify channel, right? And getting Spotify to actually show it across and stuff, it's very difficult because you can't actually plug any link anywhere, right? Apart from Instagram stories, which is the only place you can promote Spotify podcasts. So in although I have encouraged people to come on both the channels, I have seen that hands down YouTube has about 10x, and I am not even making like big efforts, right? My aim is not to make my YouTube channel very big. I just want to put out good content and a good repository of content. But yeah, I still see that YouTube is all the way, and it's very tough to compete with such a big giant.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in terms of like the podcast, just the analytics and things of that side, trying to be able to figure out exactly what kind of audience you're touching and those kind of things is still picking up. And I think the brand themselves are trying to figure out how they can leverage this to make it big, larger than life. So it'll be very interesting to see where the podcast kind of, I guess, realm goes from here.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much for that. That's a very insightful information actually. So yeah, thank you for that. And I hope you have a lot of success on both your YouTube and your other podcast platforms as well. You're doing a really, really cool job. So congratulations on that. And would just like to say thank you so much for joining us today. I think we've taken up quite a bit more of your time. So thank you so much. I don't know if anybody has any other questions, but if you do, please do drop me an email, and both Rhea and I will make sure that your questions are answered. And yeah, thank you so much, Rhea.
Thank you so much, Sanjana. This was a pleasure, and I hope I was able to give some helpful information to people out here. And if you have any questions even after this, you can definitely reach out to Sanjana or me, and we will respond to you. I think LinkedIn and Instagram would be one of the best places to reach me when I'm more active. And yes, you can find my podcast with What's Next in Marketing, or with that hashtag everywhere, or even if you put Rhea Daga, you will find it. I would encourage you guys to look at this episode, honestly, because we talk a lot about, actually growing YouTube channel and other channels, social media channels from a growth point of view, going beyond content strategies. So it was a very insightful conversation for me, and I think it would be for other people, with the same interest. The person who I spoke to is also somebody who's from Dice Media. So, he looks after Gobble, Filter Copy, and these channels have millions of subscribers. So it was a very, very fun, insightful conversation. And if you guys want to follow up a little bit more on how to grow social media channel, I would really recommend the episode 4 of my podcast. And yes, that's about it. Thank you so much for coming here and giving 1 hour and 20 minutes of your time to us. And yes, have a
Yes, thank you guys. And thank you to everybody who registered and joined us for the first time. Hope you had an interesting session, and do kind of keep an eye out on Clevertize's social media for more kind of these kind of sessions that we will be coming up with. And just to see any kind of kick-ass content, do check out Clevertize and all the work that we do. And yeah, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.